Welcome to this edition of Access Together. These shows are made possible through the combined efforts of Shelby County Schools and GHS-TV. The shows are hosted by the members of the community and utilize the staff and facilities of Germantown High School. If you would like to watch our live stream or get more information about these shows, log on to our website, ghstv.org. Thank you, and we hope you enjoy the following presentation.
Welcome to Inspiring Leaders. I'm Donna Chandler Newman, your host for our show, and thank you for watching our program. Through this show, we meet community leaders and we examine how they're using their unique talents and skill sets to make a difference. And through our discussions, we hope to inspire others to discover and to share their own leadership abilities for the overall betterment of our community. Now, most of us are keenly interested in our children, and in particularly in their schools. Fortunately, our community is richly blessed with a multitude of excellent schools, both public and private. And then there are a few jewels sprinkled among us, including one very special treasure in the heart of Germantown, that is Memphis Oral School for the Deaf. In this first portion of our show, we'll meet Teresa Schwartz, Executive Director of the Memphis Oral School for the Deaf, along with Brittany Pellegra, a former student of the school. And in the second segment of our show, Teresa and I will be joined by Greg Morris, Treasurer of the Board of Directors for Memphis Oral School for the Deaf. Joining us now is Teresa Schwartz, Executive Director of Memphis Oral School for the Deaf, and Brittany Pellegra, mispronounced her name, Pellegra, a former student of MOSD. Welcome, both of you, and sorry about your name.
Thank you, Donna.
I'm so glad you're both here. Thank you so much for being here. Teresa, let's start with you.
Okay.
How long have you been with Memphis Oral School for the Deaf, and how did you become involved with them at all?
Gosh, I've been here my whole adult life.
Yeah.
I started as a student at the University of Memphis, and it was a volunteer opportunity in 1972, long time ago. So I've been with the school off and on for 40-something years, and have seen remarkable things happen.
I bet you have. Lots and lots of miracle happens every day,
Every day.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, talk to me about the mission for a minute and how you go about accomplishing your mission.
Well, the goal for our children is to learn to listen and talk so that they're not relying on sign language to communicate, because it opens up a whole bigger world for them if they're able to communicate in the hearing world the way typical children do. And so we start with them as infants and help the parents learn ways for them to listen and talk, and then once they start our school at age 2, they can stay until they're ready for kindergarten, and then they just go into mainstream kindergartens.
That's fabulous. It really. Now, Brittany, you are a former student of MOSD, correct?
That is correct.
Tell me how you got involved with them and how and what it's done for your life.
Well, so a little background history. Deafness is actually genetic in my family. So both of my grandparents were both born deaf, and they couldn't speak, because back into the day, they didn't understand how important oral communication was. And so my mom lived through that lifestyle, knowing that my grandparents couldn't do anything simple. I mean, go to the grocery store, not be able to hear the cashier, tell them how much it costs. So Mama had an interpreter, for my grandparents. So she lived through that lifestyle. So when she found my oldest brother, Sito, was born deaf, and as well as me, when she found out that we were both born deaf, she knew she wanted to do something different, and that is be able to get mainstream and learn how to speak orally and listen and talk and be able to communicate in the hearing world.
So tell me about your experiences there at Memphis Oral School for the Deaf. It's a very different kind of school, isn't it?
It's phenomenal. It's not just different, it's probably the best experience I've ever experienced. The teachers there bent over backwards. They put in not just 99%, they put over 110% to make sure each child will be able to listen and hear and succeed well in everything they do. The most important thing the teachers do is they want us to be independent, not dependent on other people through this school. So it was a really neat experience, because Teresa was actually my former teacher at Memphis Oral School for the Deaf. So to be able to walk through life with her to this day has been pretty phenomenal.
You know, the first time I met you was up at the state legislature, and you were speaking to senators and representatives at that time on behalf of your cause, weren't you?
Yeah, for Memphis Oral School, yes, just because the biggest thing is people don't understand is that we live in a hearing world. So what can we do to help deaf children to thrive in a hearing world without any help? And that school does it for the for deaf children who can be able to do well. And so I was there fighting for the school to make sure we could get the funding needed so our school can succeed well, because it works. I'm a true example of that.
That's really true, isn't it? And I know that, how many students do you have there now?
We typically have between 25 and 30 every year, and then we have about 10 to 12 babies that are just waiting until they turn 2. So the babies work through our Sound Beginnings program. They teach the parents how to be the child's first teacher, and then when they turn 2, they can come to our school every day.
And so why is it important that they start as babies then?
The earlier you can get them learning to listen and learning to talk, the easier it is to close the gap. So once they're fitted with a hearing aid or a cochlear implant and they start receiving that auditory input, they start to learn, listening skills, and then they build on that just like a typical hearing child. They repeat what they hear and they learn to talk just in the same trajectory. But most of them don't receive their device to listen until they're 2 years old. So we've got to close that gap so that when they're 5, they're ready to go to kindergarten.
I was at dinner the other night and mentioned that you guys were going to be on my show, and one of the guys there said, Memphis Oral School for the Deaf, isn't that an oxymoron? I said, I don't think so. I said, because they are actually teaching, you are actually teaching deaf children to speak.
Right.
Right?
Right. And a lot of people are under the misconception that if you're born deaf, you're sort of born knowing sign language. And that's just not true. I mean, it's another language that you have to learn, and then there aren't very many people that you could communicate with. So if you can learn to talk, then you have a wider world of people to communicate with.
And so it opens up people like Brittany. Excuse me for using you for an example, but you're a great one. To honestly be productive as much as they can be productive and to full potential, correct?
Right. I mean, you have to have the support, not only at the school, but also support. So it's not an overnight miracle. You have to work at it. You have to learn to listen and talk. And if that's something you want for your child, you'll be able to excel well. But
And you work in this industry, don't you? Tell me about the cochlear implant.
correct. It's called Cochlear Americas. So yes, I've been with the company for over 5 years, and she's educated the public about cochlear implants, and because there's a lot of people out there that don't even know what a cochlear implant is, and that's my job to educate them on, because I have a cochlear implant, and share my experience and say what it's done for me.
And so what that does, it's implanted into your ear, and what that does is what?
Yeah, so it goes directly in your cochlea. So over time, with people, or even children that was born deaf, or older people that loses hearing over time, you start losing hair cell in your cochlea. So once you lose hair cell in your cochlea, that's when you start not to hear anymore. And so the cochlear implant goes in your cochlea, replaces those hair cells from high to low frequency sound. So that's why you're able to get speech back with a cochlear implant, where hearing aids just amplify the sound, because it doesn't directly go in the cochlea like a cochlear implant does.
I see. So a hearing aid is more like an amplifier, is what you're saying, right? And
Correct.
this is actually a physical device that
You have to have
replaces.
surgery for it.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's also catered to a different hearing population too. Hearing aids work as well for a different type of hearing loss. It's just if you have severe to profound hearing loss, you need to go with the cochlear implant.
Now, there are new technologies associated with cochlear implants now, aren't there? Tell me about that new technology.
There's a new processor called the Nucleus 7, and it allows you to stream wirelessly to your processor from your iPhone. So as someone's calling your iPhone, it will stream wirelessly to your processor without having your phone on your ear. So it's like a Bluetooth inside your head. So yeah,
That's
it's a really
pretty
neat thing.
amazing.
But you get that. But a lot of time is you get that direct access, so you can hear better without background noises. So some people say they hear better than a normal hearing person because you get that direct access without all the background noises. So.
That's true, and most of us have played music loud all our lives and helped that along
Yeah,
too. So you probably hear way
Little
better
damage.
than I do. Yeah, lots and lots of damage to that. Do you think, Teresa, that Brittany's experience is pretty typical for your students?
I think so. Now, every child's not as motivated as Brittany.
Yeah.
And every family is not as supportive as Brittany's family was, but every child has the potential to be just like Brittany.
Now, it costs quite a bit of money, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Talk to me about those costs and tuition.
So our staff is made up of audiologists, speech pathologists, and teachers who have specialized training in deaf education. And the cost for us to deliver the services to each child is $50,000 per child per year.
Ouch.
Yeah.
And can I speak on that? In the last 5 years, been with Coakley, and I've seen people who doesn't go through the experience like Memphis Oral School for the Deaf and have those special teachers, audiologists that actually specialize in that. You miss out. You need to go to oral school if you want to succeed well, and so that's why it costs that much, because they're specialized people that's what they do for a living, and they're going to exceed. They're going to put in 100% to make sure your child is going to hear well. So that's.
But if I don't have $50,000 a year, am I going to have to?
No one pays that. Everyone at our school receives scholarship assistance. Everyone we write grants. We have individual donors and corporate support, and just always have the doors open to anyone who needs our help.
So basically, you don't turn anybody away.
Never.
Right?
No, we have a sliding fee scale, and some of it is just very, very minimal.
So your mission is accomplished even to those who are not wealthy, right?
Exactly.
That's
Correct.
perfect.
Yeah.
That's really good. So it's changed your life significantly, hasn't it, Brittany?
Oh, absolutely. Like, if it wasn't for God, big thanks to Him, but also for the school and my parents putting all their dedication in their lives, I wouldn't be where I am. I would be confident. I would be doing well in my career. I would be able to speak well and just interact with normal hearing world. So it's been a great experience, and I couldn't be more than thankful for the school.
Well, there's a human part to this that you're alluding to, but there's also a financial part, because you don't have as many. Talk to me about the tax savings and tax benefits.
Well, the actual research says that over the educational life of a child, it saves about $420,000 per child.
Really?
And over the lifetime of a person, it saves over $1 million in taxpayer funding, because they can be independent and they're not reliant on social services.
Plus, they're taxpayers.
Right.
Themselves.
They're productive
Yay.
and taxpayers, right.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
There's only one Memphis Oral School for the Deaf in this area, right?
Right. The next closest school is Jackson, Mississippi, St. Louis, and Nashville.
So where do your students come from?
Everywhere. Haywood County, Fayette County, Shelby County, DeSoto County, Marshall County, all the surrounding areas, and Arkansas, some from Arkansas as well.
And so those parents are really, really committed, and you are very, very fortunate, and you are fortunate. Yes. I'm so glad you're with us today, and I'm so proud of everything that you've done and accomplished.
Thank you.
And I'm very grateful to Memphis Oral School for the Deaf, and I know you are.
I am too.
Well, thank you so much for being with us. Will you stay with us a minute,
Sure.
Teresa?
Thank you.
Good.
Yeah.
We're going to meet your treasurer in just a minute.
All right.
Okay,
Thank
great.
you so much.
Thank you.
And we're going to pause now for a short break. When we return, Teresa Schwartz and I will be joined by Greg Morris, Treasurer of the Board of Directors for Memphis Oral School for the Deaf.
Hello, and welcome to Cable Quiz, the academic.
Do you know how incredible it is to work at a TV station in high school?
GHS-TV is a student-run television station.
There's so many things you can do here at GHS-TV. You can be in front or behind the camera or both. You have that opportunity. There are no limits.
Well, we have sports and we have news and we have entertainment. So the students here get a well-rounded view of what it's like to be in the TV field.
It's my life. It's what I want to do.
From all of us here at GHS-TV, thanks for starting your morning with us. For more information about the Kappa program, visit ghskappa.com or call 755-7775. You're watching the award-winning GHS-TV, a nationally recognized student television station.
Welcome back. We're pleased to continue talking with Teresa Schwartz, Executive Director of Memphis Oral School for the Deaf, and to meet Greg Morris, Treasurer of the Board of Directors, as we continue learning more about MOSD. Thank you guys for being here. Thanks for staying, Teresa, and welcome, Greg.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Now, Greg, this isn't a job for you. This is a volunteer position. You're actually the Vice President and Loan Officer of Commercial Bank and Trust Company?
That's correct.
Is that right?
That's right.
So how come you became involved with MOSD? There are 3,000 nonprofits in this area. Why MOSD?
Right. Well, I'm associated with the school out of necessity, not out of choice. At the beginning, I have a child that was born with a mild hearing loss a few years ago, and so over about the first 4 months of her life, she lost all of her hearing in both ears. And so the first thing we did was, among finding that, was to visit Memphis Oral School for the Deaf. We met Teresa and toured the school. And so that's how we became associated with the school. We started the Sound Beginnings program when she was a baby, when she was really not responding to anything, any sounds, but we continued on through those therapies and continued that until she was a year old when she got her implant. She was implanted with cochlear implants in both ears. And then after that, we continued on with the Sound Beginnings program until she turned 2 years old and she started the day school.
Wow. So if you hadn't found Memphis Oral School for the Deaf, then what? What would you do?
For services for her, we would probably have to move. There's no other school around in the area that provides the type of daily services that she's getting at school. We would have to move somewhere else. We actually live in Mississippi, so we're driving probably about 45 minutes one way every day.
Oh, wow.
To bring her to school and then pick her up as well. So we would have to move somewhere else closer to a school that had the kind of services she needs.
Well, how did you learn about MOSD?
Well, I'd heard about the school. I've heard the name before, and I knew it was there, but didn't really know much about it until you're forced to learn about it.
Yeah.
When you have a child that needs the services, we were forced to do that. And so my wife knew a little bit about the school. She had done some observations there when she was in college, thinking that might be a path she wanted to take. So she was more familiar than I was. But we, out of necessity, learned more about the school, and we're so thankful that it's there because, like I said, we would have to move somewhere else if we didn't have the services there that the school provides.
So talk about Marley. I know you love Marley.
Oh, Marley.
Yeah. I know you're not supposed to have favorites.
Marley's going to be another Brittany.
Yeah.
Talk about Marley.
I'm very proud of her. We're very excited about the path that she's on. One thing that people ask me about her, what does she do that's different from normal kids? And I can't think of anything that she does that's different from normal children. She plays t-ball, she does ballet classes, tap classes, she does tumbling and gymnastics. She sings the entire way to school in the morning. She sings the entire way home, and if it's not a song on that she wants to listen to, she'll tell you to turn it. So she's very active. She loves the school. When we first started, when she was 2 years old, she was shy. If a group that she wasn't familiar with, of visitors came into the school, she would hide in her teacher's pocket, basically.
Yeah.
She didn't want to have anything to do with anybody else. And about her second to third year is when she really started opening up. And I can tell the confidence that she's gaining by being at the school, the confidence in herself, the confidence in who she is. And she doesn't really understand the fact that she has a disability, but she understands that she has an implant and her parents don't, her friends don't, outside of the school, her cousins don't. So just the fact that she's comfortable with who she is in that, she's gained that from the school. That's something that I can't put a price on, the confidence in herself as being able to express herself orally because of being at the school.
So basically she recognizes that she has this difference, but it is not limiting, right?
Right. It doesn't limit her. She's able to do anything that everybody else does. We go to the beach. She has special covers that she puts on them. She swims in. She does all those normal things that any normal hearing child can do. So she realizes that she has them and not everybody else does, but she doesn't realize she's different.
So now, you felt so strongly about the school that you actually joined their board of directors. Did you guys invited him to join the board, or did he stomp in and say, I want to be on your board?
We invited him.
Yeah, I was glad to do it. It was one of those times where I had the time to do it and the ability, and thought that my experiences as being a parent would also help me translate to being active on the board as well. And
plus your financial experience is very helpful to us as well.
Financial background that I deal with every day helps as well. But I thought, I want to be able to be there and help provide support for the school for other children as well in the future, so we keep the school going.
Okay, so at $50,000 a kid and you're having to provide scholarships for everybody, one of the big responsibilities from the board is to raise money, correct?
Correct.
So you guys do this through direct donations for one thing, right? And the board has responsibilities there.
Right.
But you also have a number of events, correct?
Lots of events,
You
actually.
do?
Yeah, the one that's coming up is a golf tournament. And that's going to be September the 28th.
Yeah, I was reading about it.
At Cherokee Valley Golf Club in
Olive Branch.
And
right.
it's just a super fun day. We have a helicopter ball drop. We have lunches provided. We have an awards dinner, and it's just a great day for the golfers. They're not there to, win the tournament. They're just there to enjoy the day.
Well, I think that sounds perfect.
So we'd love to have more.
I
more
bet you
golfers.
would. So you have sponsorships open for that?
Yes, we do.
Right.
And that can all be found on our website.
That's good. Which is mosdkids.org. Okay, good. We want to remember that. You have that golf tournament, but then you have a new event coming up. Do you know about this event? It's tell us. It's the Hoedown.
I know the name, and I know it's in
Yes.
November, and it's going to be fun because all of our events are fun. So I'm looking forward to it. It's something different we haven't done before, and I know it's going to be fun.
It's Hoedown for Hearing, November
Hoedown for Hearing.
November
It's-
3rd, is it?
And it's in Collierville at the Menagerie Farms.
Oh.
And so it's going to be, put on your cowboy boots and your hat, and we're going to have a square dance collar and just a whole new experience of different kind of fun for adults. Be fun.
Now, and then you also are having an inflatable, what is that?
There's a national event called the Great Inflatable Race, and they go from city to city, and it's an obstacle course of, and you go in teams and you run through these inflated things. And so they are going to donate money to the Memphis Oral School for the Deaf if you register using a special code, which you can find on our website.
I bet you can.
Yes.
And that one's October 21, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's September 28th for your golf tournament, October 21 for the inflatable, and November 3rd for your Hoedown.
That's right.
Okay, but then there's the big one, Speakeasy.
The Speakeasy. That is a 1920s, roaring 20s event. It's held here in Germantown at the Great Hall. And we have, a jazz band and food from different restaurants and drinks, and everybody dresses in costume, and it's really a fun night.
It sounds like that's April 7th?
April 7th. It is on a Saturday night.
Yeah, okay, so that needs to go on calendars now for a save the date
That's
already,
right.
doesn't it?
Right.
It really does. So that's a lot of fun events. But one of the bigger ways you get money too is through grants, through companies, and direct donations, right? Tell me about the direct donations. Are they, who gives you money? Who's your typical donor?
Our typical donor, we have a program called Sound Investment Partners, and it can just be a monthly donation of any amount that you like that comes directly out of your bank account or through your credit card. And then we just have parents who donate and support in the community. We are also a United Way agency, so we receive donations through United Way as well.
So if you're giving to United Way, you can actually specify MOSD.
can.
I guess when I think about it, when I walked through there, because I've been through many times on different tours and all, when I've gone through, it's just touched my heart. My feeling is you probably get a number of people whose heart you touch. Is that?
Oh, absolutely. There's rarely anybody that comes for the first time that doesn't leave with tears in their eyes because they don't really know it's possible, and when they see that these children are going to have a completely normal life, it's just heartwarming. It's just a miracle.
It truly is,
Yeah.
and I would think that grateful parents, too, after their children have graduated, still remember, right?
Well, and my favorite thing is that I've been in the field so long that I've seen the changes in technology and what's possible, and I've grown up with my kids. So when I was a teacher, now they're coming back and telling me their stories, and they're all successful, and it just warms my heart.
Now, I know of one success story because you were saying earlier, and very clearly they go through your program till they're 5 and then they're mainstream. One of your students went to Lausanne with my daughter, and he was completely like everybody else, just fit in with everybody else. And he was, now he's a doctor.
Yes.
And he had moved at one point to Connecticut. He's moved back here to work with St. Jude. That's 2 success stories, Brittany and this young man. Tell me another one.
I have another one that's a pharmacist. He just finished pharmacy school last year. And then I have, lots of kids that are in the path. They're in college now with full scholarships, and they're able to, go on and become teachers. And so it's just the ripple effect is huge. When they get a good start, then they can go on to help someone else.
And that's what you were telling me, Greg, when we were talking on the phone. You were saying, I think what you said was miracles happen every day at MOSD, and then you talked about who everyone touches later. What is your wish for Marley?
My wish for her was that she would realize that she's just like everybody else and she doesn't have that difference, and that she can go on and live a normal life, that she can mainstream into kindergarten and go on through college and through school and through college and on down the road, and that she has the confidence and the skills that we have, that she's getting at MOSD to go forward in life, and to realize that she is who she is and she's comfortable with that.
Well, she looks like she's on her way, doesn't she?
Yeah, she's definitely on her way.
Well, as a member of the board, what kinds of things would you like to see the school do going forward that's different from right now?
I would like to see us continue to outreach with our alumni and continue to showcase who we've helped in the past, who have gone through the program and gone on to be successful adults, and showcase those, because those are your typical average citizens now. They go on and they're living a normal life, and I would like for everyone outside of our school environment to see what can be done with a child who's born deaf and has a hearing loss, that now the technology is so great that when these children are given the ability at such a young age with the right technology, that there's really no difference in them and anyone else, that they can continue and go on to lead a normal life. So I'd like to showcase those students that we've helped in the past, and let everyone see what is possible at the school.
I think that's fabulous.
And this show might reach some of our alumni that we've lost touch with, so that would be great if they'd reach back and contact us.
I would love that too.
Yeah.
That would be my hope for you as well.
That would be fabulous.
So what else is on your wish list, Teresa?
Just to continue reaching children at an earlier and earlier age so that we can have the most dramatic impact.
And of course, in order to do that, you need funds.
Right.
Right? We need funds.
Right.
And because you're not going to turn anyone away.
Nope. Never have.
Never have, never will. And
Right. And it's been
perfect.
almost 60 years.
My gracious.
Yeah.
I didn't even ask about that.
Yeah.
60
Not
years of
with
that.
just me.
I know.
But the history of the school's been
you're
almost
not,
60.
you're not that old.
I'm not there.
Yeah. But I'm so grateful, and I know our community is grateful for the wonderful work you do. So thank you for serving on their board and being their treasurer,
Thank you.
Greg. It's a pleasure to meet you. And Teresa, thank you for all the wonderful work that you do.
Lots
Thank you,
of years.
MOSD,
Thank
Memphis Oral School for the Deaf. And again, let me say the website is mosdkids.org.
That's right.
Okay, perfect. Thank you guys so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you for being with us today for Inspiring Leaders. We appreciate our guests on today's show, Teresa Schwartz, Brittany Pellegra, and Greg Morris, all representing Memphis Oral School for the Deaf. If what you've heard on our program today has inspired you to learn more, to donate, or to become involved with MOSD, then please visit their website, mosdkids.org. Now, if you're interested in the air dates of Inspiring Leaders or of any other show on GHS-TV, you can visit ghstv.org, where we're streaming live 24 hours a day. You can keep up with GHS-TV by visiting our website. We hope you'll like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Thank you again for joining us, and be sure to watch our show, Inspiring Leaders, again next month.